Couldve Degrassi Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another video in the Degrassi Unpopular Opinions series. We talked about Paige in season 4, why she was with Mr. Orlander. We talked about Emma being with Sean, wanting to be with Sean in season 4 because of survivor's guilt. We talked about, did Degrassi have to go there with a bus crash to further Maya's depression? We talked about how Emma was justified in getting mad at Manny in season 6 in the wake of the JT stabbing. We also talked about Spitter's redemption arc being the #1 redemption arc ever, and all that. We also talked about Emma and Manny's friendship, how Emma was more of a friend to Manny than we all think she was. We also talked about Maya in season 14 being with Miles and all that. Was that just basically a way to get a relationship for Maya, or was it just to get a relationship so that she can redeem herself and not have to deal with Cam's problems? Well, this one, and we also talked about why Emma seemed to be protecting Peter in season 6, even though Peter's a scumbag. Today we take a look at another season 4 thing, and of course, I know I missed one, and I said that the students, the first one was the students mishandled the cause of Emma in season 4. But this video will be another popular opinion close to what it is. It's kind of in the same boat, but not so. This unpopular opinion is basically the school failed to calm Rick down in Time Stand Still. And basically the school should have done better to protect its students in Time Stand Still and the aftermath. Okay, so let me explain. So basically, as we all know, as I talked about in one of the videos, about the fact that the students took Emma's orange ribbon cause as basically something to do with trying to destroy Rick and bully him out of Degrassi and put him to another school. Even though that Rick was allowed to come back to Degrassi because there were no criminal charges pressed on him. And basically, yeah. I mean, Spitter and Paige never did it. But they probably didn't do it because they thought that Terry's dad or the police would probably tune in. But yeah, what else? That's a tough one. But anyway, yeah. So basically, yeah, they did the Orange Ribbon campaign to bully Rick. And then basically Emma was upset that they were beating up Rick and not taking the cause seriously enough. The way she wants it is to have people deal with the ramifications of domestic violence. Not just beat people up and all that. So unfortunately for Emma, she ends up losing her friend group because they basically say she's a hypocrite after she protects Rick. But basically Emma was justified in that. So then, of course, you got a few more episodes after Mercy Street, and then Time Stand Still happens and all that. So in Time Stand Still, Rick basically gets bullied by Jimmy and Spinner. I know in videos I said that it was Jay and Spinner who put him in the dumpster, but no, it was Jimmy. And I thought that Jimmy was like wrong, but no, I was right. I was right the whole time, Jimmy and Spinner. So basically they dump him into the dumpster, and then basically Rick sees spray cans, or he allegedly buys spray cans and decides to circle and X everyone's cars. Wakanda forever, bitches. So basically what ends up happening is that, sorry, I'm just going to grab my pen here. So basically, oh, I didn't write that down. Okay, sorry. I completely thought that I needed to write something down, but no, didn't need to. So anyway, what we got is basically that Rick wanted retaliation and all that. I guess I was going to make an unpopular opinion saying that Rick actually had the right idea. Like, Rick retaliating actually seemed to be a good idea at the time. Because you got to realize that Rick has been bullied all that, and he never got the idea to retaliate against the school and all that. I think he figured that basically the school would tire themselves out. It's kind of like the Simpsons episode when Homer becomes a boxer and Homer basically is told to take punches from his opponents, and then once they were out, Homer just nudges them. But anyway, I digress. This isn't a Simpsons thing. This is a Degrassi thing. So what you got is basically the fact that Rick retaliated with the purest intentions and all that. I mean, yeah, you could say, well, that's wrong and all that, but no. Here's the thing, though. Rick retaliated with the point that basically, if his tormentors see what damage is done to them instead of him, basically Rick would have been like, you know, yeah, you know, like Rick would basically be like, see what happens when things happen? Or basically, how would you like it if the shoe's on the other foot? And all that. So basically, he was hoping that the tormentors would see what it's like to be bullied themselves. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Basically, Alex said that Rick had been the did the circle with the X. Now, I wonder if Alex had any evidence it was Rick, or basically she instantly thought that Rick would do it, and basically as a way to destroy Rick once and for all. Of course, we all know that Spinner, Jay, and Alex were ready to turn Rick into Radish, but Sean said that basically that they would have to explain themselves and they would incriminate themselves. Geez, Sean, what a jerk. But of course, Sean didn't foresee Spinner, Jay, and Alex doing retaliatory action on them. I mean, on Rick. So, yeah. So, anyway. So, Rick, of course, has his issues with Jimmy, and then finally gets Jimmy on his side, which takes Spinner, Jay, and Alex off. And basically, Rick stupidly incriminates himself by doing the sign. And basically, you know, that just leads to the paint and feathers and all that. To me, it's like, okay, Rick's a terrible guy because he shot Jimmy and could have shot Emma. But the fact of the matter is, this is the one thing I have sympathy towards with Rick, is that, you know, Rick's retaliation plot was actually a good idea at the time, but he didn't foresee how Spinner, Jay, and Alex were going to go through with tormenting him. So, of course, Rick gets painted and feathered and all that. He tries to kiss Emma. Emma blows him off, saying that I protected you because it was the right thing to do, not because I had any feelings for you. Get a clue. So, basically, Rick goes home. Okay, so Rick goes home with the trophy and, you know, his painted and feathered clothes. And then he calls over his parents. Why would he do that? That's kind of stupid. I mean, did Rick not realize his mom was working? And Rick knew his dad was out of town because he was a salesman. So, like, why would he call out for them? And then he goes to his dad's desk and gets the handgun and all that. And realizes what he must do and all that. Now, here's where it gets tricky. The amount of times that someone should have stopped Rick in his tracks. And I'm going to count them on my fingers. Okay, number 1, Toby, when Rick comes back to the school in his paint and feathers outfit. So basically, Rick's coming back with the clothes. He could have got changed and all that. And everything else. So you can probably say that, you know, this could be another unpopular opinion rolled into one, because, you know, I don't want to do multiples. Another unpopular opinion would be that basically Rick could have done more damage if he was plainclothes and not painted and feathered. Things could have been a whole lot different if he was plainclothes. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Toby tells Rick that Ratch is going to demand answers and that he should just stay home from school. And then Rick says, Toby, this is the one day of school I want to be here. So, okay, so he goes into the school. No one tries to stop him. No one tries to say anything. In the cafeteria, number 2, the cafeteria. I mean, there were students at the cafeteria. And there were students. Was there not a staff member to see Rick and all that? In his paint and feathers and to calm him down? And now I know Paige calmed them down. So that's good news for Rick. in a sense, because she unknowingly calmed him down from shooting her. I wonder if Paige had a thought after the whole mess of Time Stand Still. Did she think she might have been shot at? Did she have an inkling that Rick was going to shoot her? I don't know. Okay, plan to stop Rick number 3 was in the deleted scene that we stupidly didn't see first time. You have to, of course, see it on either the DVD thing or on YouTube. So basically, as we all know, that Rick was walking towards Spitter and his crew with the painted feathers on. And Spitter called him a chicken boy. Radish wants Spitter to meet him at this office, blah, blah, blah. And then Radish goes to Rick and says, take the rest of the day off. And Rick says, I gotta go to my locker. Of course, that was when he said that, well, he had the gun in his backpack. He was going to put his gun away. Radish says, okay, but leave afterwards. Thank you. And then, of course, Radish gets admonished by Snake saying that you're not helping him out. You got to think of a plan. He can't do any more harm if he's here than if he's at home more than here. Of course, Radish, misunderstood the situation, saying that making friends is not part of his curriculum. You missed the point. God. So, anyway, yeah, so basically plan number 3. So that also is an extension, because if Radish was smart, he would have told the staff members, if you see Rick, make sure he leaves immediately, because he shouldn't be here. Because, things could happen and all that. I mean, he could have just told his staff members to see Rick and try to get him out of the school and all that. But of course, Rick had the gun on him at that time. So Rick could have probably pulled the gun out and basically gone at Radish. I don't know. Plan to stop Rick number 4 is after Jimmy got shot. Now, hear me out. When Jimmy got shot and all that, Craig was scared, and then students were running past like Sean, Emma, and Toby and all that. How come no staff member came to investigate the gunshot and say, what's going on, blah, blah, blah? And how did Rick calmly walk towards Emma and them without getting anyone to interfere in them or basically try to calm them down? I know that staff members probably would have been shot at, but, Rick would have said, don't come near me. It's like, well, geez, I hear a gunshot. The staff member, someone would look and say, oh my God, Rick's got a gun. Someone's got a gun, blah, blah, blah. And like those students running, they probably ran to tell their teachers that Rick had a gun. So when you get down to it, it's like, maybe they were trying to tell the staff members that Rick had a gun and all that. So basically what you got is that, Rick came after Emma with the gun, trying to knock her off. Sean saves Emma's life and saves everyone else. Toby could have done a little bit more to calm Rick down. Toby could have just told Rick to calm down. You're just making things worse and all that. He could have just said something. And, if it doesn't work, then Toby basically said, I tried to calm him down, but he fucking didn't do anything about it. So, what you got is a lot of things. So, what do you got? So basically, Rick should have been stopped and all that. If Rick had been stopped at one of the 4 key junctures, things could have been better for Degrassi. I mean, I know they wanted to write along the lines of Columbine, but remember, Columbine was more deadly than Degrassi's was. Columbine had like double digits deaths. Degrassi didn't have. Degrassi had 1 death. That was Rick, and 1 injury. That was Jimmy. So yeah, it's like, why didn't the school stop him when he did? They could have just said, we're going to work things out, Rick. You're not wanted. Don't worry about it. But Rick could have probably have taken the gun and basically said, you're not doing anything like this. It's hard to say. Is it possible that Rick could have basically have gotten so angry he would have pointed the gun at anybody, even Radish? Yeah, I know how you feel, but no. But of course, as I said, that there was another unpopular opinion is the BS and all that. Like, what if Rick had not listened to uh, Spitter and Jay's bullshit? Spitter and Jay, when they told Rick in the bathroom during the tiebreaker, before the tiebreaker in the wacky brain thing, they knew what they were doing. They were setting Rick up, and they knew what they were doing. They're like, we have to make sure that we paint and feather Rick, and he has no inkling who it could be. So obviously they build Rick's confidence up, saying that, you're helping the school and all that. We're all cool. But of course they do the paint and feathers thing and all that. They get him, and basically Spitter and Jay play the fact that Jimmy was the one who did it, because Jimmy was inside man. And Jimmy was tormenting Rick. Rick knew that. And Jimmy was basically inside man. Basically they tricked him in thinking that Jimmy was a good guy. And basically they didn't react to all that. Yeah, Jay knew what he was doing. Spitter only clued in because of Jay. I don't think Spitter would have figured this out, would have done that talk by himself. So basically what you got is basically Rick believing everyone's bullcrap and all that. I mean, how can Rick not have seen that maybe Jay and Spitter were lying? Rick's mind just was terrible. I mean, he believes Jay and Spinner, but he doesn't believe Jimmy? And he shoots Jimmy? Fuck. I mean, I know he calmed down and all that. I'm actually shocked that he didn't just calm down after the Page thing and just went home. Because then we wouldn't have had to deal with this issue. Maybe Jimmy would still be walking and all that. So basically, yeah. I mean, Rick was his own worst enemy. And we all know that. And we all figure that. But still, I mean, you gotta believe things. And the other unpopular opinion in this video, number 3, is it could have been a whole lot worse if he was plainclothed. That actually was true, because keep in mind, remember, the only way that Spinner and Jay knew that Rick was in the bathroom was the paint and feathers that Rick was trying to wash off. I mean, if Rick had nothing to wash off on, and then Spinner walks through the thing saying Radish knows, and then Jay would have said about Jimmy. Jay probably would have said about Jimmy and all that. But I think Jay only said that after he saw the paint and feathers and in the stall. Because the paint and feathers were still on Rick's shoes. Actually, that could have also... Actually, yeah. What if maybe Rick doesn't change his footwear? Maybe... And still Spinner and Jay would have done the same stuff. That's right, because Jay saw the paint and feathers on Rick's shoes. If Rick had normal shoes on, maybe, just maybe, Jay would not have blamed Jimmy. Because you got to remember, Jay only said Jimmy when he noticed the paint and feathers before Spinner did. Because if Jay had not done that, who knows what would have happened? Maybe Jay and Spinner would have been in trouble. Maybe Rick would have probably attacked them later. Maybe with the gun. Maybe Jay and Spinner would have been shot. Probably not killed. He probably just wanted them to suffer. And basically, Alex could have been a target too. But I think that Rick probably would have been in enough trouble by shooting Spinner and Jay. Even though he's being bullied, it's still no excuse and all that. That could have happened. And, with Rick not being stopped, the school was rightfully assumed to have failed Rick. Snake knew that. Snake knew he failed Rick. He took accountability. Radish never did. I don't think Radish ever admitted accountability to the students because he felt he failed Rick. I think he admitted accountability to the school board and to the other staff, but I don't think he would ever have done that. I mean, I would have loved to see Radish at least admit he failed Rick and all that. But I think people said that, Rick shouldn't be the victim. But, I mean, they all should be ashamed of themselves. And I think that the zero tolerance policy was basically the slap in the face to Degrassi and the student, because of how the students felt about Rick, that basically they needed to do something about it. And that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. It's hard to say, but I think that the zero tolerance policy was basically put there by the staff I mean, by the school board to punish Degrassi for hurting Rick, even though Rick was the bad guy the whole time. I mean, they thought that Degrassi may have contributed to his problems, and they did. So anyway, that's all I've got for this video. There'll be new ones coming up soon.